Hi, good morning. My name is Carl Slicer, and I'm the proud owner of a company just outside Hartford, Connecticut called Best Hire. Best Hire has been doing background checks, serving employers for over 20 years. During that time, we have found a very common item that affects businesses deeply. The word is embezzlement, and I realize that it's a cancer type word. And once you get past the shock of being embezzled and having it happen to you, which I personally has been involved in, you settle out, you look for the surface, you sit upright, and then you start looking for answers to get through it. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to take a few minutes and review some options that are open to your business to keep you and your staff safe so that you continue operating on like you should be on a day-to-day operation, making money to be able to pay your employees, pay your bills, and continue with your future. This is in three-part, this item that I want to cover here. Three goals that you should be looking at. Number one, how conducting a thorough background check will ensure you know the history of the applicant you are hiring. Now, I don't mean that in just the where's the person lived in the last 10 years, but I also mean that from the standpoint of where has this person walked as an adult through their life. Things like experience and education. Number two, setting up an internal safeguard procedures for financial management and the welfare of your business. Who's checking the checkers? And third, what to look for in your business to limit your liability exposure to risk, fraud, and embezzlement. This cartoon here is no laughing matter. Can you imagine being the person that walks in one day and you find out that your bookkeeper took advantage of you, not only took advantage of you, but also took $150,000 that he or she were not entitled to? Well, you're not alone. This happens a lot. Unfortunately, it happens every day in the United States. And number two, some of the cases are well over $1 million. I'm not quite sure if I could withstand that, but that's what insurance is for. Mentally, how could you have been so stupid is a common response when embezzlement is exposed. Realizing that you've been embezzled is mind blowing. And third, emotionally, we feel so betrayed by someone we trusted so much. And another common response. Embezzlement affects your business culture and it destroys staff morale. You have a right under the Fair Credit Reporting Act to examine the applicant who's approaching your company. Continue using that right with the ongoing working relationship. And to be able to do so, you have to be specific to the class situation of the type of work being done. You don't want to pick on any particular person. You want to look at the class situation based on the job description. I'll give you an example. We all know this one, tractor trailer drivers that are driving these long haul vehicles down the road every day on the highway. It's a dangerous job, and they have to stay sharp behind the wheel. So one of the things that is done, U.S. Department of Transportation recognizes that to monitor their drug testing aspect is a required necessity, unfortunately, and it varies from year to year depending upon what the industry has found from the previous years. So the drug testing goes like this. Not only do you do application, which is your pre-employment period, you also have to do random process. You do something called post-accident, right after an accident that occurs. A return to work when somebody has taken a leave of absence. And another item called reasonable suspicion. Somebody's trained on your staff to monitor this kind of thing. So we're going to extend this morning and pull this over to another field and think about it a little more. If you've got somebody who's driving $1 million bank account and you want to make sure that they're not under financial stress, how do we do that? Well, we periodically look. We look to see if they have any financial stress that's based on overextending themselves financially. Do they have a mortgage that's bigger than they can afford? How do you pay for that? Well, some people think that stealing is okay as long as they don't get caught. That's not the case in America. Number two, you also can look at the positions such as accountant, bookkeepers, the IT department, your contractors. You may have a contractor who you brought in for a couple of months to work on your network. You want to make sure that they don't have any stress in their life that is going to cause other things to go left-hand turn. And another part of this is your policies in place, which you know you have to be updated from time to time, as well as insurance. Now, let me tell you one thing about the insurance section in your business owner plan. You should be taking a conversation in writing with your insurance agent on a regular basis, assuring a couple of things. Number one, does my dishonesty clause cover employees and their definition? You may not know this, but the word employee, some insurance companies will not cover a volunteer, will not cover a mentor, not cover somebody that does not have the experience in that field. So you should look at your declaration page and drill down and find out exactly what that meaning is. Number two, do you have enough coverage? If you look at Google News that I'm about to show you, you should be asking yourself, do I have enough coverage for this? Don't look at this as a way to save money on insurance. That's another day, another discussion. You should be looking at this to make sure to say, you know what? I have enough insurance to protect my business and my people, my employees that depend on me to stay in business. And this is one field that I can pick up and take care of. Let me see if I can find that for you. Right over here. This is March 2021, just coming out of pandemic. And we can see a number of items happening here on Google News. Grass Seed Company, a developer charged with embezzling millions from investors. Wow. Here's a produce market. How do you find $8 million? Well, two things that first come to my mind. Number one, who are they collaborating with? And number two, I probably would be finding in this, if I would drill down and read this, it was over a long period of time that this $8 million disappeared. Here's a police chief. $300 million lawsuit in Miami links National Bank of Ukraine. Holy cow. Cranston police investigating $500,000 from Taco. Oh boy. Here's a bookkeeper stealing $1 million from a construction company. Unbelievable. A nonprofit loses $300,000. Devastating, devastating. Former bank president sentenced to 8 years for $11 million? Wow. Somebody's not double checking, or the double checks are not being looked at. We had a financial officer in town who never took vacation. Holy cow. Let me tell you something. That's risky business. Getting back to this, there's one other thing I want to show you here. How do you know we're trustworthy? Check out our reviews. They're on our website where you can say, all right, how do I know that those are real? Send me an email or give us a phone call, and we'll be happy to arrange a half a dozen people that you can call upon that use our services on a regular, ongoing business. Here's an open invitation to you. Best Hire is more than willing to take a web conference call with you and your staff if you'd like. Let's talk about the situation. Let's talk about the possibilities. And let's talk about creating things that are cost effective to get answers. You want to hear from us because we have 20 years worth of experience that we can bring to your staff for ideas and risk managing. And number 3, results. Educate your staff. We always take customers and turn them into clients. And the way we believe this happens is by educating them. So whether you're using our services or not, it doesn't matter. Your people will be better educated when they make a decision and a review on what to do next. By all means, please consider giving us a call. We'd be more than happy to take a phone call with you or a WebEx call and see if we can't make your day a little better. Thank you for calling.